Alright, well, let me just call up my notes and see what we're doing today. Oh, that's right, I remember we penciled you in a few months ago. That's right, the non-specific love spell. Yeah, I remember. That kind of was the key phrase, non-specific. You didn't really outline any idea of a prospective partner at all. You just kind of want to be loved. Well, yes, no, it makes things a little bit easier and a little more complicated in other departments, but I think there's something we can do for you. I have been preparing. I have been gathering some things that I think might help you along. And let's see here, yeah. Cooked up a good few things, so why don't we just start? First of all, by cleaning you up a little bit, okay? I think that a nice freshen up always helps with a love spell for attracting a partner. And, spirit of a good spring clean about the aura can never go amiss. So, let's just meet on the same level, why don't we? I want you to take a deep breath in for the earth beneath you. Really feel your toes and your feet get nice and grounded. I'm going to come in here with a little bit of dragon bloodstone, really to get your cardiovascular system moving, your heart really not pounding, but certainly doing its job a little better than it's doing just now. Getting the vascular system nice and active, your aura nice and active. So deep breath in. I'm gonna come in and just go gently down your meridians. Down your meridians. And I want you to feel the energy creeping up through your feet, up through your knees, up into your groin, and pulling there around the lower dantian point, that muddy little pellet of the lower dantian point, where Jing is refined into Qi, or Qi. Good. Getting the energy moving there, and another deep breath in. For the seas surrounding you, because this is also the area of the sacral chakra, very much related to water and creativity, very associated with the moon and her more feral, feminine aspects. Feeling that energy transform, rising up, rising up, rising up, to the middle dantian point where it's refined into Shen, around the heart. Good. Properly refined into Shen. Dragon bloodstone really working here as we come to the heart. It's really entering its nice, cozy home here. Really charging you up, charging you up, charging you up. Shen, a real vitality flooding your system, that great fire in the heart. The heart is always associated with fire. Fire. Good. Can you nice and fire it up? And another deep breath in. For the skies above you, coming up even more. That energy coming up and being refined into this idea of emptiness in the higher dantian point. Emptiness. Emptiness. No effort. No effort. complete non-doing. Complete non-doing. At one with the universe. And the idea of the triple burner. The energy is coming up, it's being refined down here in the lower dantian. It's coming up into this furnace here in the heart. And then it's kind of moving up all these things that better serve you. Coming up and just acting as a fine mist, just coating your aura. A fine mist flooding, 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 flooding your being. Good. Nice and warm. And fired up. Speaking of warm, we have our candle. Have our candle here burning nice and hot just like you are. And we have our little dish of salt, which also has some rosemary in it, but we're going to come to that very shortly. And we're just going to open a circle, okay? So, just with our little candle here, join me in an invocation. Grant us, O Goddess, thy protection, and in thy protection, strength, and in strength, understanding, and in understanding, knowledge, and in knowledge, the knowledge of justice, and in the knowledge of justice, the love of it, and in the love of it, the love of all existences, and in the love of all existences, love of the great Goddess. Opening our circle up, taking a little pinch of salt. By the hawk of dawn, soaring in clear, pure air, we call upon the powers of the east. By the stag, in the heat of the chase, we call upon the powers of the south. By the salmon of wisdom, swimming in those deep, clear pools, we call upon the powers of the west. And by the great bear under the starry heavens, we call upon the powers of the north. See, our circle is now open, and we're ready to do a little bit of hocus pocus. Now, we start by introducing a few little Ogham symbols to you. I'm going to start with Saya, 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 the willow. Why are we starting with the willow? Because it is very yielding. In order to be in love or to engage in any kind of relationship, you have to give a little, you know. You have to bend according to someone else's ideas, other person's habits, their quirks, all these things. You have to be yielding in some part, otherwise you're going to really have a hard time establishing contact, real, deep, emotional contact with someone. So you want to enter this very watery, creative, yielding aspect to you, like new shoots of the willow bending in the rapids of the river. It's related to the Helicon, which was the domain of the 9 muses. Orpheus gained all his abilities by touching a willow tree in a grove dedicated to Persephone. The relationship forming, we are moving to Waith, the hawthorn tree, coming into full bloom right about now. A tree of duality, Because on the one hand, it has a very musky scent, always associated with fertility and with romance and Maytime and the coming of summer and the maples and whatever. On the other hand, is also the boundary tree. Boundary tree. Chastity. Fidelity. Knowing the boundaries of the relationship. Huaith. Tempted and pierced with these little thorns. Captive. Appreciating the rules of the relationship. And we'll put in a vowel. This is a vowel in the Ogham alphabet. On the gorse. Also in full bloom just now. And very, very fiery. Burned away to allow the new shoots to grow, which the sheep, which are taken around, will graze on. Around this time, the gorse fires, just like that fire of your heart. Real, passionate, coconutty scented lust coming into you. On. Balancing those energies. If you like to map them as you find appropriate to the Dantean system, I'll let you decide that, okay? Next up. I got a little jar here. We're going to fill it with a few select little things, okay? A few select little things. Namely, some twigs I've gathered. These aren't just any twigs, you understand. They must be taken from very special trees. Special because they have been etched with a record of love. Be it a brief flirtation, an illicit love affair, the opening gesture of a 50-year-long marriage, it doesn't matter. The sentiment, the emotion is the same. You'll see here and there the names of lovers gone by, some of whom may no longer be in this world, but love is a very deep, very radiating emotion. It bleeds into the organic substrate quite readily, through the bark, into the sap, into the very core of the tree. In this way, I've got a little garden of twin souls here, just ripe for the picking. If you're doing this yourself, just keep in mind to be gentle. Take the fallen twigs and branches, but don't cut anything off. The hearts here are very strong, and at the same time, they can so easily be broken. So we're just going to put them in here. Shuffle them around a bit. There we go. Got our twigs, nice and cozy. We're going to take leaves of the rose. Because these are quite stabilizing. The flowers are nice, but they're a little bit too potent for what we're looking for. Were you looking for a specific partner, then we might have used them, but you're looking for something a little more, well, non-specific, as we said. So we want something a little more casual, shall we say. Leaves of the rose are just a little bit more subdued. Feel free to substitute these, if you're following along at home, with bay leaves or with leaves of the lime or linden tree. Always the tree of romance and love and the poets. You remember Coleridge's This Lime Tree Bower, My Prison. always associated with the poets. So we'll tuck them down there. 2. Okay. Then we reach our florals. Our florals. As I say, we're giving it casual cherry blossoms. Kind of going out a little bit by this point, but still present, and still very, very pink. We want pink and rosy. Blood circulating, but not too heavy so it's red and all flushed. Just a nice pink. A nice gentle pink. So we're just going to put in. If you got stems on them, that's okay. If you're making wine or anything, you want to take the stems off because it just makes it bitter, but a little bit of bitterness goes a long way in establishing a relationship. A little bit of cynicism never hurt anyone at first. So we're going to be generous with these. Just going to be generous with these. We want you mostly packed up with floral stuff at first, because you want cynicism and you want a little sense of romance too, right? Okay. Florals. And if you want to go with rose, by all means, go with rose. If you want to be a little more direct. Or you can use hibiscus if you're really feeling high. So we have that packed in. And last of all, some water that's been sitting under the full moon, which is just past the full flower moon, which was also a micromoon, I believe, but, well, it's not its size, it's what you do with it. So, a little bit of moon water that's been sitting under the moon. We're just going to fill this bottle up right to the top. Right to the top. And to top it off, we're going to take some salt and some rosemary, remember, is also in there. Soothing, all heal rosemary, comforting and warm and safe. And salt to make it briny, because this is going to be dedicated also to Aphrodite. Aphrodite, the rosy dawn, emerging from the brine. Emerging from the brine. Nice salty brine of the Aegean Sea. And there we have our little spell bottle. Nice and safe and secured. We're going to put that to the side. And you're going to keep it with you. Just keep it with you. For a little while. For maybe, say, 3 days. Which will transfigure you into something totally irresistible. But at the end of the 3rd day, of course, you must kiss the person you fall in love with. But not just any kiss. The kiss of true love. Failing this, of course, you will turn back into what you are presently, and you belong to me. But no, really. I hope this helps you out. Until the next time. Bye-bye.